So I'm cruising YouTube and I'm starting to see all these clickbait type thumbnails. The worst winter on record is on the way, these types of things. I don't know. I mean, come on, guys. Winter forecasting is shoddy at best, right? Especially long-range forecasting. But in today's video, we're going to take a look at what's going on in the Arctic, and there's also the potential for some tropical development. Yeah, I've seen the clickbait model forecast images too that get pushed out across social media. But today we're going to look at maybe what could be transpiring, because I think there is something there, right? I don't think we have specifics, but it's worth watching. Hey guys, if you're new, thanks for stopping by. It's blown me away over the last week or so. We blew through 8,000 subscribers. We're knocking on the door at 9,000 here on this small channel. So thanks for checking it out. If you're new, my name is Travis Roberts. I am a former TV chief meteorologist, no longer in the business. I got out several years back, but once a meteorologist, you're always a meteorologist. So we're today just digging into a daily forecast. Plus, we're going to look at some of the bigger picture things. So if you like that kind of content, I invite you to subscribe and join the community. Drop me a comment down below and let me know what's going on in your world. We'll start with the weeklies. This is the 46-day European extended weeklies, showing quite a bit of snow falling across the Arctic. That's not a surprise. And yeah, I think the trend here that we're seeing on the weeklies, a snowy start, at least to late fall, arguably pushing into meteorological winter as we head into December across the west. We're cold already here, at least below average as we head into the 1st of November. But I think there are some changes on the way. Now, if you're in the east, get ready for a blowtorch week. Temperatures going back above average. And then as we head into the following week, I think there will be some changes, not just across the west. And here, I think we will warm up. But it looks like we have a trough swinging into the east. This has been showing up persistently now for the last couple of days. So with lower atmospheric heights, that's how thick the atmosphere is. The thicker the atmosphere, the more compression you get, the warmer it generally is, the thinner it is, the cooler it is. So these are actually what we call our height maps. So forgive the meteorology terms. I know someone was complaining, it's too much. I don't get it. It's going to be colder, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's going to be colder. All right. And once you get beyond that, things kind of flatten out. And this is mostly because you're looking at ensembles and they just have a tendency to do that when you get out in time. They really just level things out. But let's talk about the short term. Above average temperatures continue here in the east, colder than average in the west. And again, I think we've got a couple of rounds of snow on the way here across the east too. Talked about this yesterday, talked about this the day before. I think there will be a cool shot of air sometime around the 9th and the 10th, and that could persist for a few days anyway. It's kind of tough to talk about the Siberian snowpack. You know, the thing is, it's a little higher than it was last year, of course, and across the Northwest Territories into parts of Canada. Will that lead to a snowy winter? I don't know. Right? The stronger the polar vortex is, actually, the warmer it usually is in the mid-latitudes here where we are. It depends on where you're watching today, but into the United States, the lower 48. There is a chance, though, of some snow over the next week or so, and it's looking more likely now here into the Rockies, and it's starting to get a little more likely, too. I don't know if we see snow in Bismarck, but if you're going to see snow, if there's a chance, it's going to be over the next couple of days. The GFS says you get snow. The European says, I don't know. It may not be quite cold enough. Let's go with the GFS now, and we'll take it out even further with more snow expected here from the Olympics, the Cascades, and there may even be some snow. The deal won't be the cold air or lack of into the parts of the Sierra. It's just that we're not going to have as much moisture as we're seeing here in the Pacific Northwest, and then here into the Intermountain West, into the Rockies, down into the Wasatch, some snow too, and into the Colorado Rockies. And there could even be some snow in two parts of New Mexico. Here's a look at the surface map where we are as we head into Sunday. High pressure keeping us dry. Cool too here into the Northeast. Across the west, a big ridge here, and there's the trough here in the east. That's that cold air moving in from the north. Warm air here, though. We've got temperatures above average, but that will be changing. It starts here in the northwest with that rain and snow moving in here. High pressure building into the northeast, maybe a few light snow showers across northern parts of New England, then that moves out pretty quickly. And now we've got a strong southerly flow as we head into Monday. That means temperatures are back above average. And then here comes our storm into the west. And watch this low as it heads east of the mountains here. That could really start to deepen as we head into Monday and Tuesday, and then the snow starts to drop as we move into, really, it looks like during the day Tuesday, at first Tuesday morning, and then as we move into Tuesday evening, snow levels starting to drop as well. So Wyoming, I mean, even down into the valleys, there could be some snow here up into Montana, Idaho, and then as we move into Wednesday morning, places like Bismarck could see some accumulating snow, and that moves out. And look, another storm moves in as we head toward Halloween, the 31st, into the first day of November, with snow levels dropping here into the Cascades with that next system moving in. And now we're getting a little further out in time, and that tries to put even more snow. So I think it's a good start to the ski season for some of these areas. It's been dry, though, in many of the spots here from the Midwest into the Northeast and also into the Southeast, too. Not a lot of rain on the way over the next couple of days. This system here may try to push some showers into parts of Michigan as we move into Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Otherwise, high pressure keeping us dry. A little bit of an onshore flow here into Florida and Georgia. That may bring a few light showers this way. The next best chance for rain, at least across this region, would be sometime Wednesday, I think, really Tuesday into Wednesday, starting first back here into the Midwest, down into the Mississippi Valley. That's starting to move east. A decent chance of showers here along this front, but the problem is it's really moisture starved. You don't see a tremendous amount of Gulf moisture moving north. In fact, if anything, this thing starts to flatten out and it kind of falls apart. We've been rain-free in many areas of the Northeast for almost a month, so we may end up with October being rainless in many of these areas, and this is a really moisture-starved front, so don't expect a lot of rain out of this. And then as we head into next weekend, I think things start to change. The pattern starts to shift up, so better chance of rain back here once we move into now the first week of November. Much colder across the Northeast as we go into this weekend compared to the last couple of days. Temperatures dropping on Monday morning well below freezing, although the warm-up is on the way. Decent southwest flow starting to develop, pushing temperatures way above average all the way up into Wisconsin. So places like Madison likely up into the 80s as we head into Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening, all the way up into southern parts of Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul in the 80s, Chicago. And that warm air continues to really kind of push off to the north and east as we head now into Wednesday. So temperatures above average, and then here comes our next front with some seasonably cooler temperatures by Wednesday. As promised, across the tropics, I want to back it up and show you what we're looking at. Here's where we are now. These are atmospheric surface pressures. Decently high pressure here, at least above the median, so not a lot of low pressure here at the surface. However, this changes once we move into the next couple of days. This is the ensemble map, taking different parameters, running different models, coming out with different outcomes. It's not the what we call the deterministic run. That just uses one run. That's the clickbait stuff you see sometimes online. But this far out, I don't like to use deterministic models when we're looking at what's going on, especially for tropical development. But notice the ensembles are all pointing at lower pressure areas here sometime around the first, second, and third. I think this is an area that has to be watched over the next couple of weeks now. So now we're into the next weekend. We'll have a lot clearer picture once we get into next weekend if something is going to develop here. I'll tell you where you're going to see them talk about it first. It'll be right here on the National Hurricane Center's Atlantic 7-Day Tropical Outlook. At this point in time, no tropical cyclone activity developed or expected over the next 7 days. They're certainly not confident enough to put anything on the map just yet, but keep a heads up. Watch this area, watch the Caribbean once we get to around, say, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th for something that potentially could develop here. And then once we move past this date, things start to get a little more calm and hurricane season is almost over. All right, that's all I got for now. See you next time.